Hey, big thanks for coming today. Let's go ahead and stretch our hips for a few seconds. We'll just cross the legs, stack the shins like that. Tilt your pelvis a little bit towards the window. Lift your chest a tiny bit. Slide your scapula forward and pull up to your ear. And let's roll those scapula back again and then gently drop towards the floor. Let's pull the chin back a little bit and lengthen your neck. Close your eyes and just begin a nice, comfortable practice of Ujjayi breathing, narrowing your throat slightly. Let's begin to deepen your inhale. Lengthen your exhale, transforming our nervous system and our immune system a little bit. Maybe feeling some of that muscle tension waning from the breathing you're practicing and helping your mind to calm down. And while you sit here and do your deep breathing, let's just be aware of what you're working with from your foot to your knee to your hip. And go up your body all the way until you're up the top of the head. If you are working with something that feels like a disease or injury of some kind, let's make sure we have a couple of props today, blocked blankets. Also make sure we're not doing the exercises in the sequence that may aggravate that condition. So remember, it's okay to back off and even skip an exercise when you need to. And let's just begin to move on these breaths. So we'll relax the eyes open. And we'll bring the right leg straight down the mat like that. And just turn your hips a little bit to your left. Let's put the left foot, right to the inside of your right thigh like that. And we'll just take a deep inhale here as we lift our chest up. And as we exhale, I just want you to hinge slightly towards the right foot, coming into a little bit of a stretch, and then come right back out of it. And just kind of repeat this pattern of movement, moving in and out of a gentle Janu Shirsasana stretch. Feel that lengthening and shortening of that muscle tissue, fascial tissue, and that movement that's present in your hip today, your sacrum, your lower back. And if you are working with some injuries today, this is a nice precursor to kind of warm up those areas so we're not going to aggravate them. Now, the next time you come up, we're going to switch the legs. Left leg goes straight down the middle. I'll turn my hips to the right, and I'll set my right foot here. Turning back to my left leg, I'll inhale, lengthen my spine, and as I exhale, I'll hinge from my hip. And I'll come back up and move in and out. Notice the slight differences from side to side. Maybe a slight bit more of range of motion, or perhaps there's some limitation you're noticing on this side compared to the previous side. The next time you come back up, let's all lay back on our back this time. Place the feet close to the hips and let's turn the palms of your hands down. Push your lower back into the floor with stomach muscle strength, and we'll just feel a nice flat lower back. And as you do that, I just want you to take your left foot and lift it like this. And you're going to push into your right foot and lift your hips off the floor. Come back down and put the left foot back on the mat. And I'll lift the right leg first, and then lift your hips again. And let's alternate side to side here. Feel that maximus. That's interesting. Okay. I hadn't removed that. And the next time you lower down with your left foot supporting you, let's bring both knees to your chest, please. Bring the hands, though, out to the sides, palms down to the floor, and we're going to take our knees to the right and turn the chin to the left if that's possible, stretching your neck and your spinal column. And let's go back to center on our next inhale. And this time, knees go left as the chin rotates to the right. And let's go side to side. And if you are working with that limitation of the thoracic spine, let's just notice what the spine needs to be warmed up properly. Maybe there's a fixation present that you can release in exercises like this, making your back more comfortable. And the next time the knees center, you're going to place the hands on the knees. And if you like, just hold here and stretch the glutes. Now, if you want to add something here, what you're going to do is lift your head, tighten your stomach muscles, and begin to rock up and down your back instead. Try to rock from the shoulder blade to the sits bones. Stay off your neck. Again, if you're working with some back pain, maybe just keeping the knees to your chest is a better choice for your back. And the next time you come up to sit, let's all sit up now, and let's come right up on our hands and knees. Good time for one of those blankets, please. A blanket under both knees if you have one available. I want you to take your right arm, stretch forward like this. At the same time, lift your left leg into the air behind you. Let's feel those glutes and hamstrings again. And then come right back down on the floor with the knee and hand. Now this time, left arm and right leg lift. Let's go side to side. And the next time your left hand and right leg lift, put the knees on the blanket and let's stand on your knee, please. And let's pinch the shoulder blade as the arms swing like this to the sky. Keep the shoulder blade squeezed. Let's swing the arms like this. Turn the palms away from you. And I want you to sit back and towards a child's pose, laying your stomach on your thigh, your chest on your knee. And if you can touch your forehead on the floor, try that. Come back up the same way. And moving up and down like this for the next 30 seconds, if that's okay for those knees, ankles, and hip joints. Feel those shoulder joints warming up a little bit. And the next time you lift, I want you to bring your hands to the sky and touch a prayer and drop them right into your chest. And we're just going to take a pretty big step forward with your right foot. Let's place both hands inside your foot, please. A block is fine there under the hands, by the way. We're going to take your right arm straight up to the sky. Now bend your right elbow like this, and I want you to stretch as close to the inside of your right foot to the floor as possible for you. And then come back up. And move back and forth like this. And if you're working with some limitation in the hip and knee, obviously, I don't want you to force yourself into any range of motion that feels painful in the wrong way. Achy stretches is perfect. That's what we want to feel. Remember your breathing. And the next time your right hand lifts, we're going to just put it back on the floor and step back on the hands and knees. Let's step your left foot forward this time. Let's take the left arm this time, stretch it to the sky. Bend your left elbow and stretch towards the inside of your foot, as if you're going to touch the floor if that's possible, and then come back up, moving up and down like this. And the next time your left hand lifts, let's put both hands on the floor and step into our first downward facing dog position. And from here, just walk gently backward on your hands towards your feet. And just stand up safely, but the arms, I want you to swing them wide and stretch up to the ceiling. Then come back down and touch the floor again. You can bend the knee to do this. And then walk all the way out to the top of a push-up this time. And we're going to walk straight back to your feet again. And inhale, touch the ceiling. And exhale, touch the floor. Inhale, walk out to plank. Exhale, walk back to your feet. Let's do one more. Inhale, touch the ceiling. Exhale, touch the floor. And this time when you walk out to plank, let's lower flat onto your stomach, please. And if it's okay in your back, I want you to lift your chin, chest, and legs off the floor all at the same time. Then come right back down and look to the right. And inhale, chin, chest, legs lift. And coming down, looking to the left. And repeat, moving up and down like this. And the next time you lift, let your forehead touch the floor. And let's just push gently onto your hands and knees again, please. Center the knees under the hips, the hands under the shoulders. If it's comfortable, gently lift your chin and look up to the ceiling. Pull your shoulder blades away from your neck. Now round your back and go into a big cat stretch. And repeat that, moving like this at your own pace. Let's feel that important structure of muscle across the back of your body, the front of your body. You might refer to it as your core. Part of the core anyway. Still don't really have the lateral sides maybe working enough today. We'll get those activated too. Important to get these exercises in every day. Do some type of cat stretching, please. This is so good for the vertebrae in your neck, upper back, middle, and lower back. And just creates range of motion that very few other exercises can do for you. And next time you lift your head, let's move your hands past your shoulder, wider than your shoulder, and turn your elbow away from the window as you tuck your toes. Let's try that down dog again. And this time, let's hold that down dog for 60 seconds. Visualize a line from your wrist to your hip and do the best you can to move the shoulder into that line. Tailbone elevates. Remember your breathing. Deep inhale, lengthen, exhale. And let's take a walk up to your hands, please. Feet about hip width apart. We'll shift the weight to the heels. Let's stand all the way up, sweeping the arms up. Now take your right arm, drop it like this behind your head, and we're going to wrap your right elbow with your left arm like this, and we're going to just pull it behind your head more. And now just push back as we feel these tight muscles in the back of your arm called the tricep, maybe a little bit of that lat muscle on the right side as well. Breathe. Remember, we don't hold the breath. And all I want you to do is switch the arms, please, and stretch the opposite side the same way. Let's come back down and touch the floor again, please. And we're going to walk or step back to the top of a push-up, please. Let's lower flat onto the stomach and let's try some form of a cobra, whether it's a gentle one or a strong one. And then come right back down and repeat, moving up and down, in and out of cobra. Tailbone strongly tucked towards the pubic bone. Feel bicep, tricep, chest muscles, strengthen them. And the next time you come up into that stronger cobra, let's tuck our toes and let's move back into our downward dog again. Take your heels high as your knees bend, and you can just walk, step, or try hopping to the hand this time. Circle the hand behind you if that's comfortable. Interlock fingers. Exhale, fold into your legs. Swing your hands towards the window, stand up, and at the top, do that tricep stretch again this way this time. And if it's comfortable, lean back slightly. Now go back down and touch the floor again, please. And we'll go ahead and take a large step back with your right foot. Spin your right foot out at an angle, plant it there, and let's rise to warrior A position, please. And exhale, we'll come into warrior B. And inhale, we're going to reverse warrior stretch. And exhale, let's put your hands safely on the sticky mat. Step all the way back into down dog this time, please. And inhale to top of push-up. And exhale to bottom. And this time, choose the back bend, cobra or upward face. And exhale to downward facing dog. But this time, if it's comfortable, try walking, stepping, or hopping to your hands. Swing your hands behind you, try interlocking. Now exhale, fold to your legs. Now swing your hands towards the window, stand up, and at the top, if you like, try that back bend again, tucking your tailbone. And let's go back down and touch the fingertips on the sticky mat. Big step back with your left foot this time. Spin your left foot out, and let's come up into warrior A again. And exhale B. And inhale, we'll reverse the warrior. And exhale, downward facing dog stretch, please. Don't rush yourself, move at your own pace. Inhale to plank. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, cobra or upward face. Exhale, downward face, and let's hold 3 breaths in this powerful inverted stretch. Works range of motion, your ankle, your knee, your hip. Strengthens the deltoids and triceps. Work those rotator cuffs. Try to turn the back of your elbow away from the fingernail. The hands turned out at a slight angle. Emphasize that. Let's take that large step forward with your right foot. Plant your back foot again. Let's lift to warrior A again. And exhale B. And inhale, reverse the warrior. And exhale. This time, let's come right into the top of a push-up. Lower to the bottom. Choose a back bend, cobra or upward face. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's try your left foot forward, please. Inhale, warrior A. Exhale, B. Inhale, touch the reverse warrior, excuse me. And exhale right into the top of a push-up, but hold that top of a push-up, please. Put your knees down for a second and take a look at me. What I want you to do at the top of a push-up is we're going to take our right hand and touch our left shoulder like that. Then we're going to repeat on the other side. And I want you to do 8 of these total. So this would be 1 right there, 2, and you can start counting them on your own, so I don't have to keep counting for you. Now, next time you get to 8, lower flat onto your stomach. And when you're all the way down, let's take those hands behind you and interlock your fingers. And if it's comfortable, lift your arms off your seat. Move your knuckles backward towards the wall behind you and lift your chest. And if it feels safe, lift your legs, and we'll just hold this for 20 seconds only. The chin can lower slightly, but you lift your chest higher. Strengthen the back of your arm as you stretch the bicep, chest muscles, and strengthen the back of your body. Now come back down to the floor again, but this time let's push up on the hand and knee, and let's go right into what's called child's pose. And let's pause there. Lay the stomach on the thigh, the chest on the knee. Let your elbows and your forehead touch the floor. Stretching ankle, knee, hip, lower back. Remember, you should be able to hear the sound of your breathing. Coming back up on your hands and knees again. Let's just tuck our toes and move into this nice stretch called Malasana. Taking the elbows, we're going to push the knees apart and stretch the thigh bones like that. And then I want you to bring your hands straight out towards the wall in front of you. And if it's comfortable on your knee, take your right knee and touch the floor like that, your right knee. And then back to center, and we're going to push the knees apart again. But this time I'll take my left knee and I'll touch the floor instead. And go side to side like this. It's okay to sit on a block or two to make this a little easier for your knees. And this time when you come back to the center, we're just going to move gently into a standing forward bend. Now on your next inhale, come onto your fingertips, lift your chest forward, and that's a good place to stay right there if you want. Or if it feels safe, we're going to wrap the big toe with an index, middle finger, thumb, and maybe we'll add a little more stress to the back, pulling into a deeper range of motion and creating more muscle tension. Breathe. Remember, don't go in any sharpness in the hip, the ankles, the knees, the back. Stay out of the sharp areas. Set the hands on the hips, though. Let's come up with a nice flat back, please. And I just want you to take your hands, keep them here. We're going to lift your right knee like this, and we're going to abduct it to the right and put the right foot back on the floor like so. And then I'm going to do the same thing with my left leg. Big circles. Feel some hip flexor strength, some abducting strength. Notice the range of motion of your hip joints. And the next time your right knee lifts, let's take a large step out with your right foot, please, towards the front edge. Turn your back foot out at an angle. Let's come up into Warrior A again, please. Now this time, if it's okay, I'm going to wrap my left hand, my left wrist with my right hand, and I'm going to lean to the right. We're going to compress that side, get those lateral muscles working a little stronger. Tighten your glutes, push that left hip forward. Bend the front knee a little deeper. Those achy spots, those are important places to get into. Remember your breathing. Let's come back to the middle, and I want you to straighten the knee for a moment because the arms are going to circle like this, and I want you to bring your left elbow under your right and touch a prayer, if that's okay, or the back, the shoulder. The back of the hand is an option. If you have that prayer, though, let's lift the prayer up. Shoulder blades drop, elbows forward, shoulder blades tighter. We're going to step forward into chair position. Stay in the chair and let's work on your muscle strength, or if you want to challenge yourself, you could take your left leg and lift it over the right leg and cross legs. Pressing right knee left, right knee right, left knee left. Let's add a little stomach muscle tension as well. Tighten the stomach towards the spine. Let's do 10 more seconds. Now take a large step back with your left foot, please. And let's come into Warrior B position this time. And on the inhale, I want you to touch the left thigh again with your left hand, right arm lifts. But this time, put your right elbow on your right thigh and bring your left arm across your left ear. And let's repeat that. Inhale, reverse. And exhale to a side angle. And move like this for another 15 seconds, please. Keep that front knee bent if that's possible. Keep that front knee right over the top of your toes. Push the back knee a little straighter, maybe. And this time, instead of putting your elbow on your thigh, let your hands find the floor, please. And step back safely into down dog. This time, though, you can choose the pose. Stay here and rest this time. Or inhale to top of push-up instead. Exhale to bottom. Inhale, cobra or upward face. Exhale, downward facing dog. And we're just walking backward on our hands again, please. Shift the weight to the heel as you stand all the way up, sweeping the arms up. If it's comfortable on your wrist, interlock fingers like that and turn your palms towards the ceiling and stretch into your hand a little bit. Hold that. See if you can drop the pinky side a little lower and press the index side of your hand higher. Maybe move those arms backwards slightly and compress the shoulder a little bit. Lift what's called Uddiyana Bandha. Try to take your ribs higher into the air. Now bring your hands back to your heart again, please, and take a large step out with your left foot this time. Let's come into Warrior A again, but this time we're going to wrap the right wrist with your left hand. If it's comfortable, I want you to lean to your left. They work some strong compressions. Notice the sacrum joint. Notice the lumbar vertebral joints. Try to bend your front knee deeper. Really stretch those tight hip flexors on the right side. Tighten your stomach muscles, protect your back, support it. Emphasize. And let's come back to the middle, but the arms, you can straighten your front knee, by the way. The arms will circle, and I'll just bring my right elbow under my left this time, touching my shoulder, the back of my hand, or a prayer. Stepping up with your right foot. Stay in the chair today and strengthen your legs here. Or you could take the right leg, maybe wrap it up and over the left leg. Garudasana is fine. Holding that variation that you're comfortable with here. You are crossing legs. Resistance train, please. Press right knee right, left knee left. Tighten your stomach muscles towards that lower back. Emphasize. 5 more seconds. Try to step all the way into Warrior B this time. Bigger stance. And we're going to reverse Warrior on our inhale. But this time, let your left elbow land on your left thigh. Stretch your right arm towards the top of the window. And inhale, reverse. And exhale, side angle. Move like this at your own pace. Try to get your back knee straighter. The front knee might deepen your knee bend a little bit. Challenge yourself. Let's work those ranges of motion around your hips and sacrum. And this time, instead of putting your elbow on your thigh, let's go ahead and let your hands find the floor. Stepping right back into down dog again. Now, if it's comfortable, we're going to come onto our hands and knees. In fact, let's lay flat on your stomach for a second. I'm going to try a pretty strong variation of plank. So you can look at me first before you try this. I'm going to bring my elbows together, or my elbows shoulder width, my hands interlock. I can make this a little more challenging by separating the hand and making the arms work individually. And all I'm going to do is going to lift my body like this. Now, if I want to modify the pose, I could use my knees on the floor like that. So you can do it either way. Now, don't do it yet because I am going to time it for you. And the timing is 60 seconds today. So that's a lot of fun. Planks for 60 seconds. Ready? And let's start 60 seconds now. Hold. And you might want to work the lower back a little flatter, tucking your tailbone slightly. Really important to focus in on that breathing. That's going to give you endurance, strength, stamina, power. Use the breath to endure. Let's feel some nice quadricep strength. Really make the back of your knee as comfortably flat as you can go. You're already halfway through. Remember, it's not a competition, so do what's appropriate. If you need to come out a little early, that's fine. 10 seconds. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. Let's come all the way flat on the floor. Now, while we rest for a few seconds, I want you to take your right hand and stretch it out like this to the right. And we're going to roll all the way to your right side and relax here for a few moments. And we're going to rest the same way on the other side. Let's roll to your left side with your left hand straight out to the left. Let's stretch those pecs. Feel that bicep stretch. Let's come back to the center, but this time, let's come onto the elbows, and you can just park it here and do a gentle cobra stretch on your back. And if you want a little more challenge than that, just bend the right knee like that. And if you want a more difficult pose on this, we're going to reach back and catch the foot and pull the foot towards us. So you can do any variation of that. That looks okay for your body today. Let's come back down to the floor, please. Place the hands under the shoulders, toes tuck, and let's lift to plank, our hands and knees. And we're going to bring that right foot forward, please. Go ahead and let your left knee touch the blanket or the floor below you. And let's bring our arms up to the sky. If it's comfortable again, I'd like you to interlock fingers and turn the palms like that. And we're going to stretch into this position. Move the arms to the back of the ear a little bit and tuck the tailbone. If it feels safe on your back, you might consider just leaning back slightly, compressing the spine. Again, this is not appropriate if you're working with some back issues. Just take it easy on this one. And let's bring the hands to the floor, but we'll just step right back into our downward dog from here. Now, down dog, you can hold like you always hold it, or if you want to make it a little more challenging, try lifting the right leg into the air. Hold it that way instead. Try not to let the right hip elevate, though. See if you can turn the right hip down and turn the inner right knee up towards the ceiling. And push the heel further away from your hip. Now bring that right foot all the way between the hands again, but this time we'll spin our back foot out and plant it. And let's come up into our warrior A position, please. Now the front knee is going to go ahead and just kind of, well, let's keep the front knee bent actually. Let's bring the hands in a big circle, please. A couple of choices here. We'll take the hands and grab the right hand around the left wrist, right forearm under left forearm, or try a prayer today. Prayer is not appropriate for a shoulder injury, so let's skip the prayer if you have a shoulder issue. Let's lay your stomach on your front thigh, your chest on your knee, and we're going to go ahead and straighten that front knee when you're ready. Hold, and if that feels like a little much for your lower back, it's okay to put your fingertips on a block or the floor. Remember that. You don't have to keep your arms bound. Try to move your elbows backward if your arms are still bound behind you. Try to squeeze your scapula. Emphasize. Beautiful stretch called Parsvottanasana. Bend the front knee first and stand up safely and bring the hands to the center of your chest now. Stepping up with your left foot next to your right foot. All I want you to do now is we're going to start to hinge into our right hip like this and lift your left leg into the air behind you. But then you're going to stand right back up and put your left foot back on the floor like that. And repeat. Try this up and down movement. It's okay to use fingertips on the block. Remember, it's the left leg lifting, Angie, not the right leg, the left leg. Yep. And the next time you go down, let your hands find the floor, please, and safely step into down dog. And on the next inhale, let's come to that plank position, please. And let's lower flat on your stomach again. Coming up on your elbows, pause there, and if it's comfortable, just hold a gentle cobra on your back, or let's try bending your left knee this time. Maybe stretch your left hand back and catch the foot and pull the foot towards the left hip. That's how tight the quadriceps can get. We want to really stretch these particular muscles, those 4 muscle heads in your thigh regularly, just like your hamstrings. Let's come back down to the floor and tuck the toes in either hands and knees or plank and push back to down dog. But if you want to, let's add this to your down dog. Lift your left leg into the air. Hold out. Feel hamstring glute. And of course, that's a powerful shoulder muscles here. Try to drop the left hip, please. Turn the inner left knee up. And let's bring your left foot forward this time. Spin your back foot out. Let's come up into warrior A again, please. And you can swing those hands in a big circle, and we're just going to take our left hand and grab our right wrist, or left forearm lays under right forearm like that, or we'll try a prayer behind our hearts. Laying your stomach on your thigh, chest on your knee, squeeze your scapula. When it feels safe, you're going to straighten the front knee. And if it feels like on this side you need to modify it, feel free to put the fingertips on a block. Try to move the elbows backward if you're still binding the shoulder. Building strength around those shoulder joints, rotator cuff strength, scapula strength. Try to breathe. Now stand up first and release your shoulders and hands come to your heart. We're going to step up with your right foot this time, and keeping the weight on my left foot this time, I'm going to hinge into my left hip, excuse me. And then I'm going to come right back up and put my right foot on the floor and just repeat that pattern. Important to lengthen and shorten muscle tissue. Notice you're lengthening the back of your left leg, then you're shortening to get back to standing. Now this time when you go into that warrior C position, I want you to step back to warrior A again, but you're going to turn and face me over here, please. Make sure your feet are a good solid distance apart. And we're going to work carefully with our knee joints here. So if it's comfortable on my knees, I'll bend into my left knee, hands meet here, then I'll come back up, and I'll do the same thing right into my right leg. And I'll go side to side. If you want to challenge yourself, try to sit closer to the heel. Some of you might actually sit all the way down to the heel and then come back up. Fingertips are fine on the floor, by the way. You don't have to keep your hands in. The next time you go to the right, let's come back to the center and let's hold the center now. And all I want you to do is turn your feet all the way to the back wall like that. Let's drop into a nice triangle position. Right hand on shin, ankle, or floor. Left arm to the sky. Hold that. Move those shoulder blades a little bit away from your neck. Good tuck of the tailbone, flatten that lumbar curve a little bit. You might actually feel a deeper hip hinge into the stretch if you rotate that right knee towards the prop wall behind you. Remember your breathing. Deep inhale, lengthen, exhale. Let's put the left hand on the left hip, please, and look down at the floor because you may want to go grab your blocks right now. We're going to put the right hand on a block or the floor and go past your foot. Bend your knee and let's lift your left leg into the air. Maybe take your left hip, turn it a little higher, and turn the left leg higher. And now bring the left arm to the sky. Let's try 30 seconds here in what's called Ardha Chandrasana. We're breathing. Deep inhale, lengthen, exhale. Now carefully step back into that wide leg stance, please. Turn both feet towards me, but we're going to come towards our left leg this time. So I'm going to go opposite you. You're going to go that way. I'm going to sit down as close to the heel as I can this time. And maybe I'll let my elbows and my forearms touch the floor as well. And it shouldn't hurt your knee. If it is, let's lift your hip a little higher. Don't sit so deeply into the stretch. And remember, you can skip exercises too. Now use your fingertips or your strength. Come back to the center. And stand up nice and tall. And let's rotate our left foot all the way to the windows, and the right foot turns in at an angle. Bring the arms out parallel. Let's drop into that nice triangle stretch. Remember breathing. Deep inhale, lengthen, exhale. 5 seconds. Let your right hand come onto your right hip, and if there's a block handy, maybe use that block under your left hand. We're going to move the left hand past your foot, bend your knee, and let's lift your right leg into the air. Ardha Chandrasana on this side, lifting your hip, your shoulder, and breathe. Turn the shoulders to the sky. Half moon. 10 seconds, please. And let's step back into that wide-legged stance. Face me here, and I have a couple of choices for you here. So first choice is a more cardiovascular work. So yogas, depending upon the type of yoga you do, it's hard to get that cardio work that you need. And we're going to do a tiny bit of it right now. So a couple of choices. First one's called a fly jack. So what I do is like this, is I go back and forth. I'm going to do that for 60 seconds, by the way. Just keep that in mind before you do it. Now, if it feels like that's too high impact on your knee, ankle, a back issue, then we're going to add in some squats instead, okay? Squat like that. Just like that, okay? So either one. Ready? Starting now. Fly jacks are better faster if you want them to go faster. They pass along fast. There we go. Yes. Good. Remember your breathing. You're breathing in either variation you're doing today. Twenty more seconds. Hang in there. Almost done. Try to land toe to heel. Don't land on the heel. Toe to heel. 5 seconds. Keep it going. Nice. Let's land in this position. Hands on hips, toes in, knees bent slightly. Gently touch the floor. Stay right there. Chest moves out towards this breathe wall, or, oops, we forgot that side. She's right. Let's sit down to your right heel, everybody. Sorry. Remember that one? Forgot that one. Nobody said a word. Thank you for reminding me. Blame Frida. Emphasize. Okay. Let's come back to the center and leave the fingertips on the floor. Turn your toes in, heels out. Lift your chest forward. Stay here. Or let's walk the hands backward between your feet. Work into a deeper stretch. Let's just standing like this for the longest period that we've stood for. So make sure muscles work in such different ways. Just standing like this with your feet this far apart. So just doing the stances themselves massively strengthens muscle tissue. Now you're adding more stress with the forward bend. Now, let's walk safely to the left foot and come onto our hands and knees when you're ready. Depending upon how your knees are feeling today, we're going to walk forward and maybe just try sitting on a block or two between our feet like this. If your knees are more comfortable with deeper flexion today, I want you to try to sit down towards the floor. And some of you might work your way back on your hands behind you. Others might try their elbows still. Others might put their shoulders. Now, if there's a block under your hips, you're not doing this today. You're coming up to something that like this. Just fine. It's a good one to hold. Let's spend at least another 30 seconds here, please. Let's whichever variation you're in, let's come out of it, please. Bring your legs around and in front of you. And I just want you to lay flat on your back for a few seconds and just take a moment to recover from that deep previous stretch. Virasana is very powerful. It's not a big super muscle contraction, but it's really such deep stretching. It requires a little bit of adjustment time after it. And we're just going to take our hands and place them on our thighs like this. And if it's okay on your back, I want you to push your lower back into the floor. We're going to lift your hands up to your kneecaps like that. And then come right back down to the floor. and repeat. Focus on what feels to be the upper abdomen, from your belly button up to your rib cage. Feet are flat on the floor, knees are bent. Just 30 seconds. Now, next time you come down, take a brief rest, please. Now, this one's a little different. I'm going to do the opposite now. I'm going to take my hands under my head, then I'm going to interlock and leave my arms and shoulders on the floor. I'm going to take my legs straight up, and now my focus is my lower stomach. I'm going to try to lift my hips with my stomach muscles and then come back down. Try to keep the arms and shoulders on the floor and try to lift and lower the hips. And this time, bring the knees to the chest and relax that way with your hands on your knees. And last one's real simple. You can take a peek at me. I'm going to leave my right arm on the floor, stretch my left leg to you as I reach up and try to touch my right knee and my left elbow. Then I come back and I repeat the other way. Focus on what are called obliques, those muscles on the side of your waistline. Try to really turn your shoulder away from the floor. Remember, one arm touches the floor at all times. One arm stays on the floor at all times. So you're really forced to turn into that. Try not to pull on your neck. Now, next time your left elbow or right elbow touches left knee, let's put the feet on the floor and rest, please. And you're pretty warmed up right now. We worked that core area pretty strongly today. So why don't we do some deep stretching now? So just take your right leg. We'll just extend it up like this. And I want you to wrap your hands behind your thigh like that. And we're just going to bend and straighten our knee and feel those hamstrings that we've been working so hard on lengthening and shortening today. Now, the next time you straighten the knee, try to take your right leg and pull it out of your hand like you're going to pull it towards the windows, but hold on to the leg. Don't let it go. Just try to resistance train your hamstrings right now, like you're fighting the stretch. Now, what I want you to do now is relax that resistance, and let's move your hands just above your knee on your calf area, like that. Now what I want you to do is resist again. Pull your leg towards the windows. Now relax. And now if it feels safe, and you can choose to stay here, by the way, if you want to challenge yourself, slide the hand towards the ankle. And now one more time, resist. Try to pull your leg out of your hands. Now, relax here and let the leg deepen the stretch. Now, if you want to, you could take your left leg now and straighten it to the floor. If it's an option, right hand can wrap the big toe like this, or right hand stays where it is. But you're going to take the leg to the right now. Bring the leg back up, and if it's comfortable, let's switch the hands, putting the left hand on the leg. The knee could be bent, the knee could be straight. It's up to you. Take the leg all the way to the other side of the room. This time you don't need to use your hand. You can just bring the leg up on its own. And set the right foot on the floor, please. Let's take the left leg straight up like this, please. And what I want you to do is just take your right hip like you did earlier today and lift it, but lower and lift the same leg. Go up and down like this. Let's feel some good, solid reinforcement of that hip joint, hamstring. Now, put the foot back on the floor. In fact, let's just let the hips rest here. Let's take your hands, interlock them behind your left thigh. Let's just work your knee like this. Extend and flex the knee. And the next time you straighten the knee, keep it straight or as straight as comfortably for you. And now pull the leg with your hamstring and glutes towards the windows. Don't let go of the leg though. Now, relax those muscles you were using a second ago. And if it's comfortable, try to move your hands up to your calf muscle. Now, resist again. Push against your hands. Now, relax and maybe move the hands towards the ankle. One more time, you're going to resist. Push your leg, push against your hands. So important to lengthen your muscle like this and make it contract while it's lengthened. So good for it. Now, from here, you can choose what to do. The left hand can stay where it is, or it can grab the big toe. Take the leg left. You might take the right leg and flatten it on the floor at this time. Try to keep the right hip on the mat, by the way. Now, you can modify this next one. Bring the leg back up. If you want to bend the knee, that's fine. But take the leg now to the other side of the room. Now, you don't need to use the hand this time. Just bring the leg up on its own. Put the left foot on the floor close to your left hip and just bring the right leg straight up in the air like this. And now lift and lower the hips with your left leg. This is an area we really want to make strong. Gluteus maximus, medius, hamstring. Beautiful. Come back down, grab the knees like this, everybody. Nice and gentle now. All you're going to do is bring your knees to your chest like this. And you're just going to push your knee away from you and just go back and forth like that. Let your lower back kind of relax a little bit now. Does some very deep twists, some powerful lateral flexions, and lots of forward and back bending today. Now, the next time you push your knees away, just let go of one knee at a time and set the feet down. And if you want something under your legs, let's set it up now because you're going to set the legs down now. About as wide as your hip is with the feet, please, and wide as your mat is, excuse me. And now take your arms out parallel with your shoulder, palms up to the sky. Drop the chin a little bit, lengthen the back of your neck, and it's time to close your eyes. If you're still tensing your throat, you can relax the throat and breathe naturally. Notice how your body feels after all the strong muscle contractions you created and all the different ranges of motion you move through your body today. It's the flow of blood and chi, and hopefully a healthy state of mind as well. Thank you so much for coming today, and have a great day. We'll see you next time. Namaste, yogis. You may be aware there's an eclipse happening outside right now. That's why it's so dark in here. So we do have a pair of glasses at the front desk. There's only one pair, so you'll have to share, everybody. But you can go outside and take a look at it if you want. It's probably still happening, I would imagine. Thanks for joining us online, everybody. Hope you had a great practice as well, and enjoy that eclipse, by the way. We'll see you next time.